So we're heading out mountain biking again in the morning at Silver Mountain, and I still have a broken spoke on old Chinesium back here, my airborne Taka. And I just received, just now, I went to grab in the mailbox and grabbed my new spokes from Pro Wheel Builder and my new nipples. So I'm gonna try to get this bike fixed real quick before we head out in the morning. So let's have a look at what we got here. First of all, I apologize about the noise. I do have machines running in the background making parts. So first thing we got here is the nipples. Brass nipples, black coated. And then I actually ordered the wrong spokes, and then I went back and ordered the right spokes, I think. But this is my first time ever dealing with anything to do with building a wheel. So hopefully one of these is right. So I've got basically 4 different lengths. Problem was I chose a wheel on their little calculator. I chose a wheel that was the old style of the wheel I had, and then I realized it and went back and got the new style. So there we go. We got 4 spokes, different lengths, and nipples. So let's see if we can make this work. So the first thing we got to do is get this wheel off. This wheel's kind of a pain to get off with this single speed kit on here, but it comes off. Now that I've let the air out, we need to break this tire off the bead, hopefully without losing all of the Stan's fluid that's in there. Oh, spoke too soon. Now I'm going to pull the stem out of this, and then I got to pull the tape off so we can get to the back side of those nipples. So now we got to figure out which spoke we got to use. There's the hole right there that's missing the spoke, and then over here is the eyelet for it. So we need to find the right length to go to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this metric scale here, and I'm going to measure carefully from the center line of this hole in the hub to where that spoke eyelet is. A little bit difficult to get it just right, but I think from the bent part of the spoke to that eyelet, 256 millimeters. So let's find one that matches. So I'm gonna guess it's the second from the shortest one, because I bought both sides for the wheel that I have and the hub I have, and that is the long side. So hopefully that's the right one. It looks pretty darn close. So the old one I was able to pull straight out from between this disc here, but as I insert this one, I'm noticing I'm gonna have to be a little strategic with flexing it into place, because if I just feed it straight through, it's gonna be tangled in these backside spokes, and I won't be able to bend it up to where it's supposed to be. So I need to get it into one of these gaps where I can swing it through. So I'm just gonna kind of flex it a little bit as I go. We'll see if this works, hopefully. Just trying to work it through gently here. It does look like it's putting a little bit of a bend in it, but I think I'll be able to straighten it back out. This little hooky end's kind of fun to deal with. All right, well, it's in the hub. Now I have to figure out how to match the pattern that's on the wheel. So it looks like every other spoke goes over 2, well, I should say under 2 over 1. So it should go like that. Now it looks right to me. So let's see if we can get this nipple threaded on. Lines up with the hole, looks like about the right length, good to go. So I'm just gonna use a flathead screwdriver to try to get this nipple started here. I gotta kind of try to get it right on the end of that spoke as I'm doing it. I know you're supposed to use like anti-seize and stuff on these threads, but it's a brass nipple with stainless steel spoke, so I don't think that there's any chance of galding. And also, this bike is very temporary to me, so I'm not real worried about how long this wheel set lasts. These are still 26s, which are almost outdated at this point. So there we go, we got the nipple started. I'm just gonna snug it up a bit, and then I'm gonna clean this wheel up, retape it, Looks like I could have got the longer nipples. There's a little bit of thread showing, but the spoke's still pretty loose, so we'll see. It'll be better than nothing. So there, I got it just snugged up a little bit. Now I'm gonna clean up the inside of this wheel so I can retape it really good with some alcohol, maybe even some acetone to get this old tape off. All right, I got the wheel all cleaned up, all the adhesive off from the wheel tape. For those of you that don't know, Gorilla Tape, 1-inch Gorilla black tape, duct tape, makes a really good low-cost alternative to your traditional wheel tape, but it is kind of a pain to get all the adhesive off when you have to retape it. So now I'm going to retape this wheel. I like to put it back in the bike because I don't have a wheel truing stand, and it just makes it a little bit easier to deal with. All right, I got the wheel back in the bike. I just popped the axle in there. No need to tighten it down or anything. It's just basically working as a truing stand right now. So I'm going to retape this wheel, but this wheel is not a welded wheel. It's a seam, it's a pressed seam wheel. Wasn't really designed to be run tubeless. So I have found it's a little better to start by putting a piece of tape over that seam, so you get less air leakage before you tape the rest of the wheel. So the seam is right here, but I started with a nice square edge on my tape. I'm gonna tuck it right under the bead of the rim so that it'll sit under the bead of the tire once the tire's on. And I'm just gonna work that across, and I'll kind of shimmy it into the corners with the edge of my knife here. Now I can kind of guess at how long it needs to be and trim it off. And then I'll just tuck it in where it will be under the bead of that tire. All right, so now that I got that on there, I can start with taping the wheel. I like to start at the opposite side of the valve stem. Basically, it's where this seam is. So I'm gonna start a little bit past that seam, and then I'm gonna just tape this all the way around until it overlaps. And I'm just gonna try to work it down as flat as I can as I run this tape around. All right, now I'm back to where the tape started. I'm just gonna overlap this seam about the same distance on the other side, so about a foot of overlap. Now I'm gonna show you guys another little trick that I saw on another guy's YouTube channel. I wish I could remember whose channel it was so that I could credit him. But basically, if you don't have a wheel truing stand, you can use a zip tie in the bike and just wrap it around your frame and cut it off. And that gives you a nice little pointer to see if the wheel's true. So I definitely have a little bit of a bobble in that one. So let's get this trued up. So there was definitely a little bobble right where that spoke was replaced. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty dang true now. And when you're done, you can just cut that zip tie off. I almost forgot, I almost put the tire on without putting the Presto valve back in. I'm just gonna poke a little hole right there with my knife. And I just want a small hole because I do want the Presto valve to pinch the tape underneath it. So now it's got the tape pitched underneath it. We'll make a nice seal. All right, now let's get this tire back on. Get some more sealant in there, and we'll finish mounting that bead. Now for the fun part of trying to get it to set the bead. Luckily I've got air here in the shop, so all right, bead's set. I'm just going to reinstall my Presto valve and pump this thing up, and I should be good to go. And once you get air in it, they say you're supposed to do this. I don't know if it helps, but it's what they say to do, so I'm doing it. So there we go, bike's fixed, ready to go for tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be doing some filming again tomorrow. We're gonna maybe try some harder trails. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment down below. Hit me up with questions, anything you'd like to see on the channel, anything like that. I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next video.